Alright, so today's going to be a little bit different. The last time that we jammed, my guitar stopped making noise. I'm sure many of you have had this problem. Yeah, it didn't make any like fizzy noises, it just kind of started like going. With any tube amp, there's 1.5 million things that can go wrong with it, so it's really just comes down to troubleshooting it and figuring out what's wrong with it. But what I think has happened is I think I just burnt out the board on my cab, which is a lot easier to fix, and it's something that you can do too. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do that. All you're really going to need is organization skills, soldering iron, a multimeter, solder, preferably leaded. I could only find lead free. The leaded stuff is kind of hard to come by, but it's, I don't know, it's better transfer and whatever. Better for electronic stuff. But this is some electronic specialized solder, so far it's worked fine. Depending on your cab, depending on whatever, I'm using 1960 vintage Marshall cab, so it's fairly common, as well as all the internals and whatnot. So what I think happened is I just melted the board, either running it too hot or the cable that I was using was shit. I'm just going to unsolder the one jack here and then pop it into that, if that's what's wrong with it. These can be terrifying and overwhelming, but there's plenty of shit online to figure out the basics and what exactly you're wanting it for. This is just a basic one. You can pick these up for like 20 or 30 bucks from like Canadian Tire or Lowe's or I don't know, more electronic stores. Alright. Right on the top there. Round. So I think that's my problem. Take multimeter, switch it to ohms. Red, black. Shouldn't get a reading. B cam, go. Okay, so 0. Contacts. No, that's a dead cabinet. Good. Well, not good, but fixable. So what I'm going to do now is awkwardly unsolder all this shit. Alright. Red positive, black's negative. Alright, so before I get into any of the wiring it up, I'm going to show you how to measure. This cab is normally set up so that you can either do it in stereo or mono. So there's 2 jacks, so you can either have it switched so that the left jack will just go to the 2 speakers on the left, and then the right jack obviously to the 2 speakers on the right. Or you can have it be either, I think, a 16 or 8 ohm cab, and then 4 ohms each side respectively. But since I never used that, and I already blew the one side already, I'm just wiring it with 1 jack in parallel, I believe. It's super easy. I just looked up online. Again, I'm not an amp tech or have any electronic experience at all. I just looked it all up online. Super easy. So to figure this out, what your ohmage is, just grab each side. Black to black, red to red, obviously. Now I'm getting a readout of 4 ohms, meaning it's a 4 ohm cab. What I'm doing here is I'm just putting solder on all the contacts, which is called tinning up, just so that it's easier to stick it all together. Now we test it. Alright, now before I plug anything in, I want to check to make sure that it's the proper ohmage and that it's all wired up properly. So to do that, again, go back to multimeter, put it at whatever, as long as it's ohms, 4 ohms. Perfect. Like, comment, and subscribe so that we can fucking, afford mic stands.
You want to help us drink beer.
I'm at 2.
That would be good.
Yeah.